So I just finished Yakuza Kiwami. Yakuza Kiwami is a remake of the original Yakuza, which was built from the ground up with some quality of life changes, in exchange of everyone not saying the frick word all the time.
So I fucking shot him.
Get the fuck off me, you piece of shit!
Shut the hell up and come here!
Retarded or just deaf?
You!
10 years in the joint made you a fucking pussy.
It also extends as a sequel to Yakuza 0 in some points, because like the Count from Sesame Street says, that's how numbers work. You stupid 20 or something old git! The story follows the misadventures of the returning Dragon of Dogecoin, Kazuma Mechagodzilla 3, as he continues his never-ending quest to figure out what exactly is crime. No, Kiryu, helping random civilians is not a crime. You might want to rethink your profession. But of course, it can't be a Yakuza game without our favorite bone breaker stumbling his way into being the center of another criminal conspiracy, which this time involves his two friends, Girl 1 and the fucking Egoraptor, which also involves him choosing to be framed for murder and being sent to prison for 10 years, which afterwards he returns to his hometown in the futuristic time of 2005. Don't worry, Kiryu, this YouTube thing is just a fad. It's really not gonna go anywhere in a few years, don't you worry. So now kicked out of the Yakuza again, and being the last person to be sent the Tojo Christmas card, Crime Ryu has to now pick up a new line of work, in which he finally finds his true calling by achieving dad status, as he finds an orphan who... Oh, of course she's part of a huge conspiracy. This man can't seem to get a carton of milk without having that thing be the MacGuffin of some crime drama. So now Kenshiro must go out to the streets to solve all the Yakuza problems, while finding out why Nishiki is the big stinky, and find out why people want to hit the child even more than usual, while protecting her own life and well-being. And Judgment Kazi does this through the secret technique of violence. The very gratuitous levels of violence. This is because not only is Kukukazu in the center of the funny crime time hour, but also because every single human in Japan wants to steal your lunch money at every opportune time, and no one will leave you alone. So you may not have started the beef, but you will certainly escalate it with your 4 fighting styles: basic pumpkin spice bitch style, gorilla mode, fast as fuckboy mode, and the legendary dragon style, a style that actually sucks until it doesn't, thanks to the help of the funny pirate and homeless Fu Manchu. But as you fight the threat of hooligans, your main goal in battle is to build up enough meter to perform a large amount of context-sensitive brutalities, as Jotaro gives his opponents pain on levels that the nervous system has never experienced, and uses different objects scattered around the battlefield for some reason to remove someone's privilege of a working spleen. And of course, if you're in the right place, you can use Kiryu's signature weapon, the bicycle. But don't worry, Kuchiku never kills anyone, and instead all this needless violence takes place in some sort of fight zone, as many heinous acts that you do upon them only results in them looking like you just slapped them in the nipple, before running off, which allows you to return to wandering the streets of Kamurocho once more. This leads us to the other gameplay aspect of the Yakuza franchise, the fuck-about simulator. Here you can completely derail the plot as you can do an assortment of mundane activities at your leisure. What's that? Haruka's been kidnapped? I need to go save her right now. But first, slot cars. This is very important. Yakuza Kiwami is the game where you can live a fantasy of having a life outside your own room that you could only dream of. You want to go out and bowl perfect strikes? You can do that. You want to sing at a karaoke bar that transports you into an interdimensional music video? You can do that! You want to play a Pokemon-styled rock-paper-scissors game with children, but replace all the cute animals with women in scantily clad bug outfits? You can do that too! Actually, let's talk about this. There's an entire subplot dedicated to what was once an underground women's wrestling minigame from the previous game, is now turned into the equivalent of Yu-Gi-Oh! With a subplot where a kid plays the equivalent of Professor Oak and we help teach children the meaning of friendship through the equivalent of softcore porn. Of course, this is not the only subplot this game has. It's just the most questionable one. As the city of Kamurocho is full of side stories, which a lot of them boil down to you getting scammed by people, or helping out a person who just got scammed. And really, the side stories in this don't really get on the same level as infiltrating the cult of Shunriko and completely dismantling the entire operation with your sick breakdancing skills. Like the last game had. Of course, there are some standouts, with some even referencing the last game, but half of these sub-stories just kind of have you fight some sort of scammer, and none of these really hit the same insanity as the last game's sub-stories. That is, until you decide to go toe-to-toe with Japanese Joker. Wandering the streets is Goro Majima, who has evolved from his pragmatic ideals from Zero to, well, the Joker baby, and will intercept you at any time throughout your adventure to challenge you to his S&M Fight Club, where they do it wrong. To many, this will be seen as tedious, with the amount of times you had to suddenly fight this bastard. And it would be that way if this wasn't the best part of the game. For one, he fights like he did in Zero, with less of this bullshit, so you can understand his moves if you played the last game. Also, due to Majima being slightly faster than your two base styles, you can switch into Rushdown, which will turn this little tussle into goddamn Dragon Ball. And these fights with the funny Knife Man can appear in different ways. Some of these are pretty straightforward, but sometimes you get to see him emerge from his own home, allied with the Ninja Turtles. Or you can even unlock special events with this man, where he surprises you with things like a zombie outbreak, a fun time with slot cars, or even... This is real, and you can go on a serious date with this man, and then afterwards you get to fight him. I think this man is my spirit animal. And much like the submissions, you can derail the plot if you wish to fight him. And if you're lucky, you can unlock these special Majima events in the most inopportune yet absolutely hilarious time. Oh no, Nishiki has kidnapped Haruka and has strapped her to a missile that will destroy the Millennium Tower. I need to get to her before it's too late. What?
Hey yo, it's Majima's crew. The boss wants to know if you want to, dance with him or something.
Haruka, please understand, this is very important. I need to get this done first. Oh, hey there, Kiryu-chan. It's me, your gay boyfriend-a-me. I wanted to know if you want to do some dance battles. And by that, I mean we kick the ever-loving crap out of each other, while I hit the gritty at the same time. Haruka, this is very important! In the end, Yakuza the Snyder Cut is a fun and fantastic remake of the first game that, even though it leans more into the serious side of things, still manages to show an entertaining mix of a gripping crime drama and a funny clown time that the series is known for, wearing it proudly on its sleeve. With tight, easy to pick up and master gameplay, and a wide array of interesting, sad, and even funny cast of characters that you'll definitely remember. And if you're interested in the wacky world of the Japanese Mafia game, then play Zero first. In my opinion, it's a good start. But of course, Kiwami is definitely a good contender. After all, it is based off the first one, just with less Mark Hamill as Majima.
You're too kind. Kazuma-chan, too kind.
Stupid!
Seriously, I was not kidding when I said this man was the Joker.